kind of rushed Dane Cook off the phone. That wasn't on purpose.
No.
We thought Lee Majors was right behind us, and we knew Lee didn't have much time.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
literally?
Here comes the $6 million man walking down the hall.
That's him, all right.
How can you tell?
Well, because it looks like him.
Yes.
Which one is he?
He's right there.
Is that him right there?
That's him.
Oh, that's him. I see him.
How cool is that?
That is very cool.
Lee Majors. There he is. Hello, Lee Majors.
Lee Majors in studio.
Very
Wow.
cool.
This is awesome.
I know.
How are you?
That is
Good to meet you.
fantastic. Jeez.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Grew up watching you.
We sure
like
did.
everybody else in this country.
Thank you.
Amazing. Amazing. $6 million man.
You look great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are you a healthy eater, like a healthy, or do you just genetics have been good to you?
Listen, if you've done as many action shows as I've done, you run your butt off, you stay in shape.
Oh, yeah?
You know,
He's done some action shows, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Did you do all your own stunts or a lot of them?
probably about 80% of it. now.
We asked that because Tom Cruise is doing all his own stunts and doing some
Well,
crazy
you know,
things lately.
Yeah, but you know, you have guys that protect you, that set these stunts up,
Mm-hmm.
that they know what they're doing. So I never did anything without having an expert there.
Was there one you wanted to do and people just said, look, you're too valuable to us.
There's
You
one that I
can't do
didn't
this."
want to do that I ended up doing.
Oh, which one?
It's a long story.
Too long?
It's something to do with the tram in Palm Springs, up on the cables, going
wow.
from one tower to the middle of the tower is where a car was stuck with supposedly a bunch of kids in it, and to get there was tough.
And which show is this for?
6 mil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about there, because the big box set is out. Wow. This thing weighs.
It's a big box set.
That is a big box set, and of course, when you open it up, you hear the very familiar opening of the show. Yeah.
Do you ever get sick of being associated with that role, or are you happy to have been? Because it's like sometimes actors like, all right, I did that role and then I moved on.
Well, I moved on, but because I did another series right
Fall
now.
Guy was huge. Fall Guy was huge.
Receivers, but so I forgot about it, and then I went on. I've done about seven or eight series, so and I keep very active doing it. So I don't really think back about it until people bring it up. So. But I did do the Fall Guy mainly to see if I could rid myself of some of that, being put in that box.
Yeah,
like that box.
The box, yeah.
Right, just to
But
see
it
if
really didn't work all that well as I thought it would.
Sure. But it's not a bad place to be,
No.
being known for, the $6 million man.
And the Fall Guy was huge. I mean, that show
Fall
was
Guy
huge.
was 5 years, and they wanted to do another year of that. But I kind of got a burnout right at that period.
Yeah.
And I needed to get away and take a break. So I did.
Like from the whole business
I
or
walked
the
away
show
for
itself?
I walked away for about 10 years.
Damn.
I went to Florida and played a lot of golf.
You know, it's amazing because through the reruns and stuff, no one really was like, hey, where's Lee? It was just kind of like you were always on television.
You go away, but
constantly.
But you were
That's
still
why
on TV.
I think I was getting burned out, and I was afraid the audiences might be getting burned out with me. So
what did that feel like? The burnout? Were you just tired, or were you kind of like?
I was just physically and mentally tired.
It's
and
just the
kind of wanted
rut.
to get away from L.A., Hollywood, and that thing, and so that's what I did. I went to Fort Lauderdale and stayed for about 10 years.
Now, the time you were on TV doing $6 Million Man and The Fall Guy, there was a lot of partying going on in Hollywood. Did you ever get caught up in any of that?
Listen, when you're working as much as I was, you're doing 12, 13, 14 hours a day. And I was living on the lot. I had an apartment at Universal for 6 mil and one at 20th Century Fox for The Fall Guy. And I only went home on the weekends. And so you don't get out as much as people think. It's not like doing a half-hour comedy and then go be Charlie Sheen. It's plus let's put it this way. Back then, people, they weren't on top of you as quickly as they are now with the internet and the TMZ, and you can't do anything without right away you're on.
It is amazing how much longer it took to get that personal information. It was usually through the rag magazines that you'd see at the supermarkets.
Yeah, they say it takes them weeks to print them up. Months
and a lot of it, people would just take it tongue in cheek, like, really? Is that what?
Yeah,
you didn't really believe them for the most part.
Couldn't really believe them because it was next to the issue of Bat Boy and things like that, flying saucers and whatnot. So what do you think about the paparazzi these days and just the need of people to want to know every aspect of a celebrity's personal life?
I don't know, because, I'm not a computer person, and I'm not online. I don't do any of that stuff. And it's amazing because, I remember when we were working so many hours out on location, and to get to a phone, you had to hopefully get a driver that would find a payphone within 10 miles so that you could make a phone call.
Yeah.
So, and today these kids are just texting every second. It's just amazing.
It was also, we had talked about the accessibility to celebrities now, because in the old days, you had to physically write a letter to that celebrity and hope they read it and send something back to you. Now, through various texting and Twitter and websites and whatnot, you really do have this accessibility to celebrities that you never had before. And I think it does open up celebrities to more of their private life being out in the open.
Also, I think, with so many reality shows, back then, let's face it, we only had three major networks. Maybe the fourth one was barely coming in.
Get up and change the channel.
Now you've got so many channels, and it's just ridiculous. But some of these kids, they go on a reality show, and overnight they're a star, and then now they're on the red carpet to rehab.
Right, yeah. And then overnight they're not a star, and they realize
you
it's a little fleeting, and paying your dues. Yeah.
How hard was it being who you are, and you were married to Farrah, who was just America was in love with, and to be in that high profile type of a situation, and then when it comes to an end, the whole country kind of knows. Was that something that was difficult to deal with, like the country kind of focusing on your, you know what I mean? Is that a difficult thing to deal with?
Like I say, it still wasn't as bad as it could be today.
Imagine today.
Brad and Jennifer Aniston thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But being that we both had hit shows around the same time, that was. But that's one of the things that makes it difficult in this business. We were together for quite a while, but then I saw her 2 weeks in 1 year. Due to career jobs. So, just separation is not good for this.
Yeah, that does seem to be something that would...
And you were able to reconcile, right? Which was, it's rare in life that you get to reconcile with somebody.
He went about 23 years not talking to her, right? And then you got to talk to her before she passed.
Yeah, it's funny in that you'd think you'd see people in that town, but you don't. And you do go about your business and you don't think about it. And, of course, I met a wonderful lady 16 years ago, and I've been married for 16 years now with a beautiful girl, Faith. I keep the faith now. She's out there.
That's great.
So you were at least able to, like I said, to reconcile. Which is, it's nice to be able to do that when somebody's not, when somebody is sick.
Well, ours was a very friendly thing. It was just very amicable. It was just, it's like we just don't have the time for this right now.
Yeah,
so.
that would have to be crazy too. Just the
it wasn't like getting caught texting and stuff like that.
Right.
I do remember it was a very public.
It wasn't a Brett Favre kind of thing.
No, nothing like that.
Let's be honest. If I was packing that small, I wouldn't be sending that out to people. Brett Favre.
That was the first mistake he made.
Yeah, cruel you are. Brett kind of
at least use one of the enlarged features on the camera. What are you doing, Brett? You're a Hall of Famer.
What are you, a
rookie? It was though. You were in all of those magazines though. All those years ago.
Yeah, but
some of them were.
I kept a pretty clean reputation. And,
that's.
I'm proud of the fact that I kind of kept my nose clean and just did my work. That was most important. If you don't do your work, and you could kill yourself in that business really quick, because word gets around if you're doing this or that, and you won't work.
Yeah, you see a lot of actors these days kind of...
Of course, today it's a completely different ballgame as far as...
Yeah. Well, also, you got, guys on the production staff with their cell phones, and they got the cameras, and now they're catching actors having a temper tantrum, fights with directors, and, overnight, you're difficult to work with.
Yep.
It's, again, I think there was a lot more discretion back in the day where
there certainly was.
Yeah, you didn't have the crew pretty much ratting you out for things that you're doing. It is amazing these days.
Yeah. Would you consider yourself a sex symbol in those days? I mean, it seemed like you had.
I never considered myself a sex symbol anytime.
No.
Well,
the ladies did, though.
Yeah, they sure did.
They did. That's for sure.
I was always kind of with one lady, so I never really was out there that much.
Was the temptation hard? Because, I mean, I find it hard to resist, and I very rarely have opportunity.
No, it wasn't that hard. No.
You get used to it, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Do you look back at the $6 Million Man? Because the box set is out now.
Yeah, can we talk about that?
Sure.
It's the complete collection. Open it up again. Steve Austin. It's, wow. How many shows did you do?
Well, there's 40 DVDs in that.
40
DVDs. Yes. Well, we did 100 episodes.
Wow.
5 years, 5 seasons.
Yeah.
And then there's 6 movies in there. We did 3 movies, pilot movies, before we went to series. Then we did 3 reunion movies after we went off the air. So it's quite a package, and you can't get it in the stores. It's not available in the stores. It's only going to be available online.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on 6mdm.com.
6mdm.com.
It's just a wonderful Christmas package, and I think a lot of families that the fathers who grew up with it will show it to their kids, because it's one that you can sit down with your kids and watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
We didn't kill anybody. We didn't have a lot of blood. We didn't. It's not like the violent stuff of today.
Right.
Blow up stuff, and you got to shoot somebody. These videos are so violent. If I had a kid today, I wouldn't. I'd be really watching what they're.
Really? Do you think that's changed over time as you got older, or do you think that's just how you always felt?
It's me personally.
Yeah.
I just steal from old school. I grew up watching Roy Rogers and Gene Autry. Those were my heroes, and the guy in the white hat always won.
I remember the episode of Fall Guy when they all
Roy
guest starred
Rogers
with you. Yeah.
And we did a quick a scene where we were coming out of the old saloon and get on the horses to chase the bad guys who drove off in a Jeep, like we're going to catch them.
On horseback.
Roy had the 2 pearl-handled guns on in his holster, which was very heavy, and had Trigger lined up there at the corral. So we ran, and I jumped up, and I'm swinging over, and I'm watching to see if he's okay, because you don't want to take off before the other guy, because keep the shot close. Plus, once you get on one horse and it goes, the other horse wants to go. Right. So anyway, he missed his stirrup. And he looked at me and he said, "Lee, I think my spring is sprung." But we did it again, and we were riding out of town, and I'm looking over saying, "Man, I'm riding next to Roy Rogers, and I'm after the bad guys. I thought I died and gone to heaven."
It was legitimately like your old heroes. That
definitely.
And then to be able to do that on the show, I remember that one. That was a good episode.
What was the first gig you landed when you got to Hollywood? Like the first thing you auditioned for and actually got?
Well, embarrassingly, the first piece of film I ever did, no, it wasn't porn. It was, it may sound like it, no. I did a movie called Straight Jacket. I played Joan Crawford's husband. And in my little town in Kentucky, they came from all the hollers all around down to this little theater. On the marquee, it said, starring Lee Majors in Straight Jacket, also starring Joan Crawford. And I packed the little theater, and she chopped my head off with an axe before the credits came on. And that was the end of me. So
that was your starring role.
Oh, that was it. And then, of course, there was a couple of other guest spots I did where I got killed. Alfred Hitchcock, I got killed as a race car driver. I did the Gunsmoke, and Jim Arness shot me in the middle of the street. I never saw him. He was in Hawaii.
Oh, really? It was done later on?
He had been on that show so long that they had a double that would shoot over his back onto me, right? So and I would do my part with this double and get killed and fall in the streets. Well, he'd fly in from Hawaii a month later and stand there, and they'd get a shot of him back the other direction and a close-up. And he'd fire his gun, and that was it. He'd go back to Hawaii. That's about the way he did all his shots.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Hollywood magic.
Damn.
So how was Joan Crawford? Because you hear, that she was very difficult. Was she pleasant to you, or would you see,
she was a
rough one?
very, very tough lady. She had to have the set at about 48 degrees. Or lower, because she didn't want her makeup to run. So all the crew people were wearing their parkas around, and you could see the breath coming out.
Wow.
She was married to a guy who was the head of Pepsi-Cola.
Oh, wow.
And they had a machine, but you still had to put 20 cents in to get the pop.
Did anybody say to her, "Hey, Joan, it's cold in here"?
No, nobody said anything to her. No.
Probably not. No.
How were you when the $6 Million Man was by far the biggest show on television? Did you remember those moments and like try to be nicer to the crew? Like that was kind of.
Yeah, I learned. I also worked for another tough lady, Barbara Stanwyck. And she was really more my mentor than anybody else. And I learned to be on time. I want to tell you, be on time, know your lines, and keep your mouth shut unless you talk to.
Did you make the error of being late?
You were on that show too.
No, you kind of when you're working around someone, you kind of you absorb everything you can. And she knew that I was doing that, and she kind of took me under her wing and made it very nice for me. She helped me a lot.
I forgot you were on that show. Yeah, that was.
Well, we're doing the movie after the first of the year. The Big Valley as a theatrical.
Yeah, Big Valley.
And I went in to meet the producer and director, and I said, I guess you want me to play my original part. And they said, no, we want you to play the father of your original part. So that's full circle coming around there.
Yeah.
So we'll start that next year. So.
That was it. I remember. Yeah, you were pretty young in that. How old
23.
were you? 23.
Yeah.
Working with Barbara Stanwyck. Oh, that.
Can I get back to
intimidating, I
the
guess.
$6 Million Man, because Stephen S. from Bayshore is a huge fan of the show.
Yeah.
And I want to see if this is true. He says, during the filming of an episode of the $6 Million Man, one of the carnival dummies turned out to be a mummified criminal. Is that true?
That's correct.
It was discovered when someone broke off its arm and saw bones inside.
Yeah, it was me. Well, it wasn't exactly me. I was with a makeup guy, and we were wandering around this. It was kind of be a haunted house kind of thing down in Long Beach, and we're wandering around, and it was kind of dark, and we hit this. One of the guys hit this guy, the mummy's arm, and it kind of fell off, and it looked so real, like a bone. So we had to tell somebody we broke it. So that's when they found out. And they checked it out, and it was a real a guy. And I think he was a bank robber from Oklahoma. It turned out after they researched it. So
wow,
that was kind of spooky.
That is kind of creepy.
A little bit.
Would you say the Bigfoot episode is the biggest one of the six? That's the one.
Yes,
everyone
he
remembers
was the biggest guy I ever ran up against.
Everybody remembers
that. Was
one.
Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant, the wrestler who played that, and I remember it was 110 in the sun, and we were out in the woods, and we were to do this big fight with him, and he had a six-pack sitting by his chair, which he would, before the shot, he'd grab a beer and just down it and crush the can. Down the next one. He did the whole six that way. And they said, okay, let's get this shot. So I'm going over, and yeah, nice. Oh, that's the mummy. Oh, anyway, I was going over, and he was supposed to pick me up and toss me a little bit. Well, he picked me up and tossed me about 10 yards. And I'm laying there, and then he's got to come and run and just dive and land on me, and I'm there thinking he's going to crush me.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the sun disappears. It's a black cloud, and here he comes, and I'm squinching up and waiting for it. And he didn't touch me. He did not touch me.
Oh, used some of his wrestling prowess.
Yeah, yes, he didn't touch me, but and then I watched him all day, and he never went to the bathroom. I couldn't understand.
Well, he had a suit on, so
maybe he was going in the
I don't know.
suit.
Maybe not. I wouldn't want to dry clean that thing.
No,
he was legendary for his drinking too.
Yeah.
That guy knew how to put down his beers.
Yeah.
A six-pack that was
nothing.
Yeah, he was just getting started.
Of course, I guess his kidney was the size of a basketball.
It had to be.
Did you? What were your feelings when you were doing so well with the $6 Million Man that they decided to bring on the Bionic Woman and make that into a series?
Well,
were you thinking like, it's kind of going to dilute what we're doing over here? Or?
Well, let's go back to how that started, because
it started as a love story.
I did this $6 million for a couple of seasons, and I hadn't had a love interest. And I told the producers, look, I'm tired of looking at these hairy-legged guys walking around here in shorts, so I need to get a love interest on the show. Yeah. So that's when we wrote the thing about a former girlfriend, a pro tennis player, and brought her into the show. And of course, it was well received. And so we did another one, and then they decided to spin her off. So, it was... that one didn't bother me as much as then when they tried to do the Bionic Boy.
Right.
Did they?
Which failed. Thank goodness. Then they came and they wanted a Bionic dog.
Dog, right.
Max. And I said, no, you take Max, that Bionic dog, you take it over to Lindsay Wagner's show. I'm not having that dog on my segments.
They wanted a Bionic dog on your show?
Dog. Yeah, they wanted a Bionic dog on the show. And I said, well, not my show. You can take it over there.
Take it over.
Also wants to clean up after a Bionic dog. So you did? Was her show ever on the same level as yours as far as popularity?
I don't think
like
so.
at that time.
Well, we were on 5 years. I think she was only on 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So it didn't quite reach it. But amongst girls, young girls and stuff. She was quite popular. Yeah,
the Wonder Woman crowd, things like that.
Yeah.
What did you? I'm sure you've had to field so many of the ridiculous logistical questions of the $6 Million Man. As one of such as, you only weigh so much. How can you hold back vehicles? Your arm, bionic arm, has to meet flesh at some point. So why doesn't it just tear out? I mean, for years you probably had to field those. What do you usually say?
Theatrical license.
Okay, that makes
That's
perfect
the only
sense.
answer you've got. It's a TV show.
Yeah. You know what would have been a great answer if you just took your coffee and threw it on them.
I would be honored, Jim.
Between that and going into bars and guys wanting to arm wrestle you, that was the worst. So I stayed out of bars.
The guys really want to do that?
Oh, yeah. You want to arm wrestle?
Yeah. To show you, idiot.
Yeah, it's not real, dummy.
Did you, when they went into the syndication, the deals were different for actors back then, too. Like, do you guys at least see...
I make nothing.
Isn't that amazing?
I know. And the $6 Million Man has been used, that phrase, when they, but still further back, because now they make a heck of a lot more. But they're talking about signing a football player or a baseball player. Right. The new $6 Million Man, everything was $6 million. I guess it's because it sounded good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I'm also happy. Of course, the other thing is I did have a piece of merchandising and a little percentage of this or that, but Universal's got good accountants. So they were always in the red. I don't think they've made a penny yet.
Never made a dime,
So
right?
I hired those accountants, and I haven't paid taxes in 20 years.
Yeah, I just can't seem to make any money. Yeah,
the doll, the $6 Million Man doll, though, I had that when I was a kid. I mean, that was
action figure.
Yes, come on.
What's wrong with you?
It's not a doll.
You're right.
You played with dolls?
Well, maybe I did, but for you, it was an action figure.
It was an action figure.
Action figure.
Yeah, for me, my Barbie camper was empty. I needed somebody in it. Yeah, you're right. The action figure. Yeah, G.I. Joe kind of sucked. I always thought the $6 Million Man was better. So they obviously have you on board to do this. So hopefully they're taking care of you at least to help promote this box set.
Not really. No. I just wanted to do you guys' show. I love you guys.
Very cool.
That's fantastic.
He's going to do Oprah, too.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I'll be on Oprah tomorrow.
Is it her radio or TV?
Television show. Yeah, I was just in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
With her. It's a cute show. I know you won't watch it, but you should.
I would watch it for you.
I'd watch you on there.
That's how famous he is. Oprah's a cute show.
I know. Yeah, it's a cute little show.
Cute little show, that Oprah.
Yeah, absolutely.
She treated you well?
She treated me great. Yeah.
She gives good interviews, though. Like, I'd like to. I'm not a big Oprah fan, but, man, she really knows how to get information.
Yeah, people feel compelled to, I think.
She makes you comfortable.
Oh,
and all of a sudden you're
well, this was a surprise
admitting everything.
kind of thing, and it's just a fun show. So, and Garth Brooks was there, and we had a great time with him.
Oh, so we just
he did a whole set.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after the show was over, he did a set. I mean,
guy just likes to perform.
He's a sweetheart. He's back in Vegas now.
Oh,
what was the theme of the show with you and Garth? Was it?
Well, I wasn't connected with him. It's kind of a surprise.
Okay.
I can't reveal it. You'll just have to watch.
All right, tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock.
We'll watch Oprah.
I should have pretended I didn't know when she was on.
You want to watch it together, Jimmy?
Yeah,
I would love to. Yeah. We can eat bonbons like a couple of sissies. But I should have said, what is it, 3 or 4? But I was like, 4 o'clock, Oprah, we all know the channel.
Anyway, remember, guys, this box is not available in stores.
Where do you get it?
A lot of people are going to go down to the video store and say, where's the thing? They're not going to find it.
Well,
it's only online for 1 year.
I think we should put it in stores, no, Lee?
Well, it will be probably starting next year.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, I would go down, if I saw it's being released, I'd go down to the store and try to find it, but you can't. It's just Time Life has it for license for a year.
Okay.
Are you doing commentary and all that on this, too?
Oh, there's 17 hours of bonus stuff on there. I did a 2-hour interview. I don't know what they had on there. It's probably stuff I probably shouldn't have ever said. But I just saw it the other day. It's quite an attractive book.
What's the website that they go to get it?
6mdm.com.
SIX.
Thanks for asking.
MDM. 6mdm.com.
Do you spell out 6, though?
SIX.
I can do the
Either way?
the number 6.
Oh, they were smart. They got both. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to remember. MDM. If you can't remember $1 Million Man, you're not going to know what to do with this box. You're going to try to eat it when it comes in the mail anyway.
Were there any scripts that you got that you read? And
it's
just
the number
like,
6, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's
number 6.
Number 6mdm.com.
Yeah. Speaking of
some scripts, you just kind of went like,
well,
guys.
actually, this was one of them.
Really?
I was doing a lawyer series, Owen Marshall, Counsel at Law at University, and they sent me down this script called Cyborg, and I read it. And you got to remember, at the time, Batman and Robin was a very show. It was a very campy show.
Campy, right?
Where the slam, pam, bam, you know, all that with the fights and stuff. And I'm reading this, and he runs 60 miles an hour, and he jumps tall buildings, and I'm going, I can't do this. Is this? If you're thinking about doing a camp show, I'm out. So
right.
Anyway, that was quickly. Of course, we did the first movie. It was pretty right on, but we did have it was maybe a little more edgy than it should have been. Because we had a couple of New York actors, Darren McGavin and Marty Balsam, which were really good New York actors in that. They played it very intensely. And in the second movie we did, before we went to pilot, they changed the concept and went more to the James Bond kind of feel. And they even had a theme song, the $6 Million Man song, and it was sung by Dusty Springfield, and it was pretty jazzy. You know,
hey, really?
Yeah. You should check out
and that's on
the second movie. The second movie in there that has that.
Oh wow!
And so I was getting a little embarrassed about the way the show was going. You know, I would be at a cocktail party on the Riviera in a tuxedo, and I go to the balcony. I would look out and see with a bionic eye, I'd see this yacht. And so nobody's looking. I would take my tuxedo off, turn it inside out, zip it up, and it's a wetsuit.
Wetsuit.
And I'd take this little thing about a couple of inches and put it in your mouth, and they're supposed to make you breathe. So I'd dive in and swim about 20 miles to the boat. So it was a little too James Bondy and gimmicky for me. So when we went to series, I said, look, the only way I'll do this is let's make him more human. Let's don't do the bionics every 5 seconds.
Right.
Use them when they're needed, and make the guy human and have some relationship in the show. So that's the way we went.
And apparently it worked.
How long into it did you realize that this was a massive success?
When I finished it.
Oh, by the time you're done?
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't out much during that time.
Really?
You were just a busy guy.
I was.
Damn.
I was busy.
Were they sad when you wanted to go, or was it a mutual parting of the ways, or were you like, look, I can't do this anymore?
I think everybody had their feel of it. And, I don't know if it had gone on any further at that point. But it was almost like the show that would never die, because we did 3 more movies after that, and I guess, the last one we did, I mentioned this before, we did in '89, one of the reunion movies, we tried to make another Bionic Woman with this little actress who guest starred for about $2,500 for this 2-hour movie, and that was Sandra Bullock.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And Sandra Bullock was there doing this stuff, and thank God it didn't go for her either. So you see what happened to her, which and it couldn't have happened to a better person. She was just a sweetheart. You knew she was going to be a major star.
And the movies are included in the box set.
6 movies, and the 100 episodes.
Dude, this box set rules.
I didn't know that. I would
50
love
pounds.
It's heavy.
Usually box sets suck. This is great. It's got.
You could really crack someone over the head with it.
I wish there was an option to not make the noise, because I'm trying to open it, and it just keeps talking at me. It's like
it's good if you're lonely.
Yeah, but it's bad if you're trying to watch this and you don't want somebody to know you're watching it. It's like, what are you doing? Nothing. Oh, shit. Don't try to steal somebody's $6 Million Man.
Did I read somewhere where you didn't like the sound effects on the show, or the famous?
No. They didn't bother me. When we first started doing the running part, they would speed the camera up, and it looked like Keystone Cop running. Right. So stupid looking.
Yeah.
We finally went to the slow motion, and adding those sound effects gave it more powerful look.
It became sort of an iconic sound.
Yeah, where's that sound?
I go here. I went to the restaurant the other night down the street, and as I was walking through, you hear the waiters going.
Yeah, no. You'll always do that. It really did become part of pop culture.
I take it as a compliment.
Yeah, it's one of those things that people just, if you do that noise, everybody knows what you mean.
Knows what you're
Not
doing,
that you would just walk around doing that noise.
It might be a little silly.
Yeah, I do that while I'm having sex to make my girlfulfend think it's going better than it actually is.
Going swimmingly.
Jimmy, what noise was that?
We can rebuild.
We can rebuild, yes.
What noise?
Well, with me, it would be we couldn't make him faster. Cause
Stronger.
Yeah, can you have the noise?
There you go.
It's like, that's my childhood.
Yeah,
me sitting in front. Me fitting in front of the TV.
Yeah, look at
fitting.
You.
I can't say
turned
sitting.
Into the little kid
I'm the
again.
bionic ass. I can't speak properly. All right, so it's number 6 MDM.com for this box set, and it's like they give you everything: the pilot, TV, movies, the entire series. It's not some shit box set like a lot of them are. This is the real thing. It's got everything.
Is that their own slug line?
What?
It's not any shit box.
I actually took that right out of the box.
Coming from you, that sounds great.
It's a compliment.
But no, people buy a lot of stuff, and it's just like it's not what you want. This is fantastic.
It's got everything
very
you need
cool,
in
man.
there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Good Christmas present.
Yeah, it's great.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thank you so
guys.
much. We have the great Lee Majors.
Absolutely. Lee Majors. Just a thrill.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Lee Majors, everyone.